Well then, welcome back to We Can't Spell Success Without You, PowerPlan Brand vs Brand Challenge. In this section of the channel we want to look at branded food, which brands are actually better for you, which can improve your health, which ones are better for weight gain, weight loss and diabetes type 2, which is the better ones for your heart conditions. We're going to look at 4 sections. First one, calories, where we can see if we can control weight by going for a low calorie food. We're going to look at saturated fat, people with heart conditions will benefit from. We're going to look at carbohydrates and find low carbohydrate food help rather than irritate diabetes type 2. And the final section we're going to look at is costs. Assuming that we buy a branded product 3 times a week, how much can we save to be healthy eating the same sort of food but by switching products over a 12-month period? So the first thing what we need to do is log onto the internet and type in nadiet.info in Google, and that will take us to our webpage, We Can't Spell Success Without You. Click on downloads and then click on the brand versus brand food challenge icon. This will give us a list of all the foods that's available in categories such as canned food, ready-made meals. So today we're going to take a look at
potatoes.
So today we're going to look at fruit and veg, and probably not the most exciting subject. One thing what we need to appreciate with fruit and veg is that historically it'll be full of nutrients, and these nutrients will be all your vitamins. It'll be vitamin C, B1, B2 and all your iron and things like that in there. Generally food these days is force grown, so we can't look at those sort of statistics anymore. What we can do is look at food as such as calories, carbohydrates, saturated fat to see which are the healthier options. But we have to be aware is that when we're actually purchasing fruit and vegetables is the source, and if you can, but it's the most expensive but you will get more nutrients in it, is by shopping organically. And if you shop organically, this means that you'll get away by eating 5 a day. Failing that, probably because of how much it actually costs. If we look at the traditional markets, where a lot of people in the 70s, 80s used to always buy the fruit and veg from markets, which is locally grown. It's not quite as good as organic, but it's far superior against supermarket type fruit and veg. And so if you can buy from your local markets, your locally grown products, and by doing that you'll get away by eating 6 a day. And finally, you have your supermarket fruit and veg, which has been force grown. It'll have a lot of chemicals in there, it'll have very little nutrition value with your vitamins B1, B2, but it's cheap, and a lot of people go for cheap these days. If you're going for supermarket vegetables, then look at having 7 a day. So today we're going to talk about potatoes. Now, every time you go and see a health trainer or you see the nurse at the local doctors, they will always tell you, for whatever reason, always go for a Morris Piper potato. For some reason they just think that this is a healthier option in potatoes, but what they always say as well, which is very truthful, is avoid frozen chips, avoid microwave chips, and also avoid jacket potatoes where they've already been pre-prepared for you and you just put them in the microwave for a few minutes or 5 minutes. But these will contain added fats, added sugars, and the fats and sugars will basically just preserve the food in the freezer. It's not going to help you in your everyday life, and it's certainly not going to improve your health. So if you can, when you're having chips or whatever, when you're using potatoes, always go for fresh. But what we'll do is see what we found about Morris Piper potatoes. So on the website we just need to go to fruit and vegetables, and if we scroll down a little bit we'll see potatoes. So if you click on that, and our information will open. So once open, we're going to look at the potatoes. Obviously, as with every information pack or every sheet that we load up, it's already sorted in calorie order. So we can instantly see that organic fresh is the less calorific at 68 calories, contains almost 0 saturated fat and about 14 grams. So not the best thing if you are diabetic, you want to keep your sugars down. It's probably best to avoid potatoes or just have them on treat days. What we're doing is looking at these per 100 grams. Obviously they bought in 4 packs or 1,000 grams or whatever. You get big packs of potatoes. So what we're doing is looking at 100 grams, and realistically 100 grams is a potato which is about the size of a biscuit. So if we think of a ginger nut type biscuit, I'll show you in the photograph, that size of potato is 100 grams. So there's quite a lot of carbohydrate in there for people that are suffering with diabetes. But what I'll do as well, if we put Morris Piper and just highlight it, which is the one that I always get recommended when I go and see the health trainer, we can see it's next to top at 102 calories. The saturated fat arguably is lower, but even the carbohydrates seem to look high. So to lose weight, organic fresh. And looking at the list, if you want to gain weight, then King Edward is your better choice. So back to our list, and this time we're looking at saturated fat. And once again on top, we've resorted the list on saturated fat. And once again on top, organic fresh comes in at 0.004. In fairness, there are a selection of potatoes there, which you can pick from organic fresh, British Jazzy, buttery marble, right through to selected red. But so any of those will be good. What you want to avoid is things like supermarket frozen mash I've included, budget mash, which is better at 1.2. However, make your own. It's going to be healthier for you. It's going to be a lot better from a saturated fat point of view. So go for organic fresh if you can, or British Jazzy. Avoid frozen mash or any of the other frozen products, as we said at the start of this video. Right, so finally we're going to look at carbohydrate, which has been sorted in that now. And this is really for people with sugar issues. If you're concerned about diabetes type 2, this is going to be more relevant for you. Once again, organic fresh. If you're going to go for potatoes, it looks like organic fresh is a clear winner. Not necessarily the cheapest, but it's up there. Once again, looking at Morris Piper, they are quite high in carbohydrate, and the worst ones once again being King Edward. So what we can say, if you want to lose weight, avoid King Edward, and especially if you're diabetic, avoid the King Edward. Go for organic fresh, which seems to be better for weight loss, it's better for saturated fat, and it's better for carbohydrate. Failing that, something like British Jazzy, potatoes, is a much better choice. However, surprising to me is that the Morris Piper has not been anywhere near the better options at the top of the table. It's generally been mid-table, or even the worst, or one of the worst that you can actually purchase. So once again, we're questioning the health trainers, which I do all the time, and that's the reason why they absolutely hate talking to me. So, and this is one of the problems, if we sort it in price order, we have budget mash, which is frozen, which comes in at the cheapest. Now, like I've said to you before, this is not great for your health. 98 calories, I suppose, is not too bad, but it's not a lot of mash. What I would do, if you actually have in frozen budget mashed potato, next time you serve it, weigh it out, have a look, see how much 100 grams is. You'll be surprised, it's not a great deal at all. But you are going to be it with the saturated fat levels and carbohydrates. There are better choices rather than 17 grams per 100 grams. And then the more expensive is buttery marble, which is at £2 along with the rooster. So here we are again, and what we've done is put on potatoes, the buttery marble at the top, followed by budget frozen mash. So basically we're comparing the £2 product per 100 grams to the 90p product per 100 grams. And don't forget, 100 grams is about 1 potato. So what we're going to say is we eat these 3 times a week, just 3 potatoes a week, which isn't a lot. and just by doing that, go into the frozen mash. Say you're going to eat the same amount of food at 100 grams, but you will gain weight. Would this switch be good for diabetes? In this situation it would be, as the buttery marble contains 18 grams of carbohydrate and the frozen contains 17 grams of carbohydrate, but it's not good for the heart. But the main thing what we're looking at is the saving, so switching from the brand from buttery marble to a budget frozen mash would save you £171.60, which is quite a lot. However, it's not particularly good for your health. So that's it for this brand versus brand food challenge. I hope you found it useful, and now we know which products you need to lose weight, gain weight, saturated fat issues, and of course diabetes type 2, trying to avoid sugar. By switching, we can actually adjust our budgets accordingly. So thank you very much for watching this video, and we'll see you soon.